So the left pins most of their rage over gun violence on gun manufacturers. We've seen this time and time again. So let's bring one on to defend their industry. Henry Repeating Arms CEO and founder Anthony Imperato joins us now. And sir, thank you for coming on. We do appreciate it. When you hear rhetoric like that, how do you respond to it?
I think it's disappointing to not have true problem resolution with serious issues like this. And today was more about political showmanship than problem resolution, and a lot of misleading statements and rushing through such a serious topic, violence in America, not giving this problem the courtesy that it deserves for true problem resolution. As a CEO of a company, I do two things. I try and keep our employees and customers happy and everybody in between, and we resolve problems. And especially when problems become chronic is when I really want to put an extra effort into resolution of that problem and think out of the box and really say, how are we going to put this to bed once and for all? So how is this country once and for all going to put to bed violence in America with individuals that use firearms for violence? I don't use the term gun violence. It immediately implies that the gun is the item to blame. No, it's the individual and the circumstances behind that. And actually tonight, I think we have a few minutes, and that's actually very difficult for me after 40 years in the gun business and someone who grew up in New York City, and I'm an urban guy, Brooklyn guy.
Sure.
But I've traveled extensively throughout rural America. I know the heartland better than many of my friend farmers out there. And we need to really have lengthy dialogues and understanding. It was obvious today that at the hearing, no one knew how the industry worked, how guns work, how things are manufactured, and you walk away with getting nothing accomplished.
And when you, I mean, let's just talk for a second. I mean, you have people, I mean, they make this argument all the time and they point to it. And the reason they're so effective with this is because I feel like most Americans look at it and they're like, what else could you possibly blame for this? I speak to Republicans. I'm not going to shy away from this. I speak to Republicans that have a problem with the fact that it's so easy to get their hands on a gun that can kill 20 or 30 people in a short period of time. It just freaks them out. And these are people that are Trump supporters. You know, I mean, you hear that all the time. How do you defend when somebody comes up to you and says, you know, it's a gun issue? What do you fire back with? If somebody gives you that at a bar, what do you say back to them?
Well, I don't fire back. I respect both sides of the equation, but look, I think about this all the time, and because I just want to help it go away at some point, not because I need to sell guns. And by the way, my company doesn't make AR-15s, so we don't have a horse in this race, but we're a major firearms manufacturer. I look at violence with firearms in different categories. One is urban violence, which is other than suicides, which we can talk about separately, but urban violence, how we continue. I grew up in the 1960s. How could it be that this, after 50 years of failed policies, we're still trying to do the same things that don't work? My conclusion is this, very simple. Here's my equation for urban violence and everything else that comes along with it. You end poverty, you end gun violence, okay? So this is a very complex historical, cultural, social, economic, deeply rooted problem. And there's a way, in my mind, to resolve this. It may take 5 decades, but this country needs to do something like this where it's done in a way, not in a socialist way, not in a reparations way, but in a way where people can work and have hope and grow, send their kids to school with education. All of this bad stuff would go away. There's what causes most firearms crimes in urban America, Chicago, St. Louis, etc.? It's the drug trade. All of this would go away if everybody got up and just lived a regular, nice life.
Yeah.
Separately, is these tragic, horrific shootings. I have 3 children. I cannot even imagine what these parents are going through.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. One, I think there has to be responsibility of the family up to a certain age of the individual who causes these crimes.
Right.
Then America needs to look at itself at this point. We're at the lowest level of religion in families in our history. And I'm not here to push religion. I grew up in a Roman Catholic household. My grandmother was very religious, etc. And so even a little thing was a sin. We were able to develop a conscience of right and wrong.
I'm almost out of time here. You got the 25th anniversary of your company. I got 10 seconds.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, we have something called Henry's Guns for Great Causes. It's would be nice to talk about something good about the firearms industry. Check us out at henryusa.com. We are making donations for 25 years to sick children's individual cases, sick children's hospitals, wounded veterans organizations, Tunnel to Towers, building homes for heroes, etc.
Great stuff.
Wildlife conservation, all good stuff. It would be nice to hear something good about the firearms industry for a change.
It would be. Anthony Imperato, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you,
We appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you.